What's going on, family? I'm going to try to be doing these at least once a week where I am uh, breaking down the Shark Tank episodes or at least one episode from that week airings of Shark Tank. Just kind of giving you what I think from an intellectual property perspective, a patent perspective. Again, I've been doing this for almost 10 years and I can tell whether or not, you start to see some things on whether or not you're likely to get a patent, and then more specifically from a business standpoint, likelihood of success in that business. So, hey, this is going to be our first one. Hey, it may be a little rough, but we're going to work out the kinks as we go here.
Good morning, Sharks. I'm Caroline.
And I'm Rose, and we're the wife and wife dynamic duo from Denver, Colorado, and we're here seeking $150,000 for 8% in our company, Poplight.
When we first moved in together, we needed to install wall lights on both sides of our bed.
Now, Sharks, we're pretty handy, but installing wall lighting is a real hassle.
Punching holes in your wall, running wires for electricity, patching drywall, who has the time?
We could hire an electrician to do it, but that could cost over $1,000.
In this economy?
We thought there could be a better way to install wall lighting. And Sharks, that's when we have.
And I want to stop it right here because they bring up a good point. This is the essence of patent law. We all are dealing with problems on a day-to-day basis that are irritating to us, that are frustrating to us, and that we kind of, hey man, if you can just do X, Y, and Z, man, this would be a lot better. If you can do this as opposed to that, this would be a lot better. They have solved the problem for wall lighting, and this is the great thing that I like about patent law is because you would think, okay, wall lights, these things have been around for years upon years, for decades, maybe even centuries, probably not that long, but what new can be invented as it relates to just a wall light? And they have invented something that is an age-long technology, if you will, with wall lighting. That's what I love about just patent law, just inventing that. You would think something that's been around for a number of years, and hey, there's no way that you can possibly get a patent on something or protect something or start a business around something, and they have did it. Now, I mean, I think what they said is very true. When you start wall lighting, you have to get electrical run, busting through walls, all that type of stuff. And if you're not handy, look at it. I'm a guy, but I I like I let the experts do what they do best, and then I do what I do best. And in terms of breaking through walls, trying to patch walls, dry walls, running electricity, that's not my forte. That's not my level of expertise, and therefore hiring that stuff out is expensive. So they're like, okay, can we solve the issue of making that more affordable, more simplified? And seems like that's what they did here. Let's see what they have to say about it.
Add our light bulb moment.
Let's show them how it's done.
This is Poplight. Poplight is modern, stylish wall lighting that's as easy to install as it is to remove.
Poplight installs in seconds. The base attaches to your wall using double-sided adhesive. No tools required.
Plus, the Poplight base has a built-in level, so you'll always stick the landing the first time.
That's cool.
All that's left to do is swivel and click Poplight into place.
That's cool.
Wall lighting in seconds.
That's it?
Plus, it's dimmable.
So one of the things that I like about this thing already is that it's simple. One of the biggest things that I always tell people, if you have a simple technology or simple invention that solves a pretty decent sized problem, those are my three takeaways. If it's simple, if it's effective, and if it solves a big enough problem, you can make a lot of money in business. Just and protect your IP, you can make a lot of money in this thing. So I guess as far as number one, they check off that box. This thing is very simple. You're not having to kind of pull out tools, or it doesn't take an hour or 2 hours to kind of put together. This thing is pretty simple and straightforward. Put the base plate on the wall. You have the light that's attached to the mounting portion. Swivel that in, attach it, and in a matter of seconds, you have your wall light. This is great. They have something that is very simple. And that you'll hear that through a theme as I'm doing these shows is make sure what you have is very simple. If you have a simple invention, it doesn't have all these parts to it, it doesn't take a long time to put together, then you're well off on your way as far as having a pretty good company and being effective in the marketplace.
Sorry, what was that, Laura? You want to know how Poplight's powered? Great question.
Poplight is USB-C rechargeable. Simply pop out the battery when you need to charge it, or leave it plugged in if you like the look. Options.
And we agree, Mr. Wonderful. Time is shmoney. It is not a very executive move to have to get up and adjust your wall lighting.
And that's why we created the Poplight app, where you can choose between 3 different color warmths, set a sleep timer, dim your Poplight, and control multiple at once.
Whether you're a first-time homeowner, moving into an apartment, setting up a dorm room, or just want wall lighting that's easy to install, Poplight is modern wall lighting designed for everyone.
So Sharks, who's ready to revolutionize wall lighting with Poplight?
Sharks, in front of you is your very own gorgeous Poplight for you to check out.
Super cool.
Thank you.
Great idea.
What happens to the wall when you take off the adhesive?
Nothing.
Good.
We designed Poplight so that when you remove the tape, you don't leave any damage on your wall.
Where's the button to turn it?
See, and that's another good thing when you're, again, going back to simple and effective. The fact that this thing is simple, if you want to change this thing out for maybe another wall lighting, it doesn't leave a big mess. So not only does it attach to the wall pretty straightforward and simple, it detaches from the wall in a manner that does not leave a mess or marks on the wall or such that you have to hire people or this is a big cleanup job. That's again, when you're trying to invent a product, they have this, it seems like they're doing a very good job of kind of making sure it's simple and which is a good thing.
On.
If you look at the bottom, you'll see a little power,
Robert.
and you just have to tap it.
Got it.
Robert.
So that's
Hello,
it's very
Mark. Great idea.
Thank you. This is a prototype. So we just did our first round of tooling. So you have our first tooling prototypes.
Oh, wow.
Going
And this is another good thing. This is a prototypes. I was interviewing someone that talked about, hey, go off, start selling these things, and then maybe try to look to get a patent if you start to get some success or good feedback. And I was saying, just as a patent attorney, I think that's maybe not a good way to do it, just because in the US, they give you a 1-year grace period. So when you publicly disclose your product, your invention, and when you're selling it, that's considered a public disclosure. You get a 1-year grace period to file that application before you're forever barred. But if you want to take this thing internationally, some countries such as China or other countries in Europe, once you file this thing, you can no longer file a patent in that country. So my advice was, hey, do a provisional patent because it's relatively inexpensive, only a couple $100s, and then you can start selling this thing, getting feedback from the marketplace to say, okay, do I want to spend this $8,000 to $10,000 to convert that provisional to a non-provisional? I guess in this case, it's let's see what they had to say. They have a prototype, so it seems like they're still going through, and that's a part of business, right? You're going to still go through this process of not only fine-tuning your current product, but as you get more and more successful, you'll start kind of developing new products or additional products that that the market that you can sell in the marketplace. So it seems like right now they have a prototype and that they're kind of showing on Shark Tank, providing to the sharks, which is cool.
drop
It's
it.
our baby.
Yeah.
They
How
did
much?
a nice job though. The tooling looks good.
Yeah,
Very
thank you.
clean.
How much
Yeah.
are you going to sell it for?
So they retail for $95.
And what is it going to cost you to
one?
make?
Mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
So
one.
it costs $25 to make, about $30 landed, $95 retail, which puts our profit margin around 68%.
That's
You're going to
kind of
sell direct to
expensive,
consumer
guys.
only.
Sorry?
That's kind of expensive, don't you think?
We also ran a lot of tests. We found that people were more responsive if we priced it higher and offered a bigger
I don't think
discount.
95 is
And
expensive.
offered a what?
It's
Bigger
Offered a
cheap.
bigger discount.
discount.
Yeah.
How long does the charge last?
Yeah.
See, and it's another good thing. The market always wins. So, I was really under I was of the same mindset as Mark. $95 for a wall light. You know, I guess I'm not sure the prices of wall lights because I don't have a wall light in my house, and maybe that's just me. And so I guess I'm not in the know as it relates to the Walmart wall light market. But if I was going to go buy a wall light, do I spend $100? I know I have one of these lamps where you have the post or whatnot, and that's maybe $20, $30 all day long. So to spend $95, it may be a little bit much to me. But as she said, they found in the marketplace that pricing them high and then giving a big discount. So maybe these things are $65, $70. Maybe the customer loved that. Now again, it's probably something that I would have a hard time kind of making sense of. However, if the market is speaking, listen to the market. Do not just do what you want to do. If the market is telling you one thing, then listen to the market regardless of especially in mass, especially as opposed to if one person or a few people are saying, "Oh, do it this way," hey, the market's going to always win. So it seems like they are giving the people in the market what they want, which is I guess what you want to do at the end of the day. You're trying to provide a product or a service, and again, you want to make sure that the customer is feeling satisfied at the end of the day. So
It takes about 4 hours to get fully charged, and then the battery lasts between 5 and 9 hours, depending on how bright it is. But you can't leave it plugged in all the time using that cord.
So I'm curious, are there any others out there like this where
So effective. So number one is simple. I have agreed that this product is very simple. Number two, how effective is it? Seems like okay, you put it on a wall. The battery lasts for what 5 to 9 hours. She said you can have a plug-in option that lasts all the time. You have the app so that again with your phone or with a remote control, you can control the brightness, control the colors. Seems like this is pretty effective, which is again another a check on my list. Is simple and it's effective. So they're doing good as far as my checklist. Let's see what Lori has to say as it relates to things.
it's an adhesive back, besides the ones where you pop on, pop off? You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
the tap
The
lights.
under cabinet, right?
Yeah.
Tap
Mhm.
lights.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it actually didn't exist. So we needed it. We looked for it. We couldn't find it. And we actually have a patent. So we have 3 patents on this.
What do they cover?
We have a design patent, and then we have 2
That's a very good question that Lori is asking. Because when somebody says they have a patent, you can have a bad patent or you can have a good patent. Again, ultimately, from an investing standpoint, the number one question is, are you protecting the IP? And it seems like that answer is yes, because they are filing for multiple patents, which is a good thing. Number two is, what does that cover? Now that thing can change during prosecution. You're going to want to try to get as broad as coverage as possible so that you can exclude pretty much everybody from that market as possible. But as you go through prosecution, the claims maybe get narrower and narrower. And as long as you have a good solid patent that kind of still protects something, you're good to go. The investors may not care about that. I guess at the end of the day, as it relates to if the patent issues or not, they at least want to see that the patent is pending at the beginning. But from a standpoint of making sure you have a solid patent that that has some teeth on it, hopefully you are able to get broadest claims as possible during prosecution. Now, and I've been doing this for such a long time. You understand that there's so much stuff out there, and you guys would be surprised just because you haven't seen something that's been commercialized on whether or not somebody tried to commercialize it or file for a patent. Now, one of the inventors are saying, "Hey, this never existed before," and I'm sure that they had an attorney, and their attorney did their patentability searches and confirmed that, hey, we have some good teeth to stand on as it relates to our invention, which is a good thing. That's what you want to do. Make sure you're doing the patentability searches before you spend these thousands of dollars on a patent and going through that process, and really trying to build a business and spending tens of thousands or a lot of money at starting a business. Just making sure that you have a patent, you have protection for your business, which is seems like what they have done. But again, Lori seems like she's asking the questions. What does this cover? Because I can tell I actually like the leveler and a base plate. I think that's something interesting. Obviously, we know levels exist as it relates to making sure that different things on the wall are leveled. Are they used with a lamp or a wall light? Man, I haven't seen that before. Not to say that's not out there, but I think that's interesting. I think the adhesive to put something on a wall, that's not going to be something that you're going to be able to protect in and of itself. That's not new, and it's obvious. The leveler may be something that's interesting. Let's continue to see what she has to say.
pending patents on the technology behind poplight. One is the way that poplights.
She also said, and I stopped it before, and she said she has a design patent, and I think she said she has an issue design patent, and then she has 2 utility pending patents. And this is another good thing. People just don't know about this. A design patent can be very effective. Number one, it's a lot less expensive than a utility patent. Number two, a utility patent can take 2 to 3 years, easy to be if it gets before it issues into a patent. A design patent it can take a year or less for it to issue. So it's cheaper. It's quicker, and it still has some teeth. You're protecting an ornamental feature of the product. I was trying to look it up and I couldn't see theirs. I mean, I like to be able to pull this stuff up so you guys can see the pictures of the patent and what it's covering, so we can kind of talk through that a little bit. But the design patent actually protects the ornamental feature of it. It doesn't protect the utility. That's a utility patent, the use of it. But the design patent protects the ornamental feature of the object. And again, it's cheaper and it's quicker to go through the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
Swivels and clicks, and the way it's removable, the base from the wallet,
The base to it.
and then also the way the
Smart.
tape attaches to the base.
So again, swivel and click. It'll be interesting. Like I said, it's still patent pending, so we'll see what's actually protected at the end of the day. But just kind of from my experience doing this for almost 10 years, taping some adhesive to the base plate and to a base plate and attaching that to the wall. That's not the newest from my perspective. Swiveling, clicking, maybe it's something there, especially when you start adding things such as the leveler or whatnot. Maybe you have something there, but just you only have so many attachment methods, right? You can kind of put something up there by screws. You can do an adhesive. You can do this kind of swiveling, this click attachment where it has this audible feature where you swiveling the thing, and once it clicks, it's locked into place, and therefore not going to come off the base plate. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not that is protectable. Let's see what else she has to say.
Base, and that's the part we wanted to protect, because that means that if you were to put
Let
another
me
stick
go
on,
back here. 'Cause I
one
think
is
I
the
missed-
way that poplight swivels and clicks, and the way it's removable, the base from the
The
wallet,
base to it.
and then also the way the
Smart.
tape attaches to the base, and that's the part we wanted to protect, because that
that'd
means
be
that if you
interesting.
were
I'm
to
not
put
sure
another
if-
stick on wallet on the
if
wall,
that
you would
makes it
rip off
through.
the paint.
Have you sold any?
So we launched an incredibly successful Kickstarter at the beginning of this year. We did
Ooh, tell us more.
We did over $178,000 in a little under 4 weeks. Despite launching at 6 a.m.,
That's
we
decent.
met our goal
In
at
a
around
month?
22 minutes.
Wow.
And then what we're running into is inventory. We are slated to run out of our first run in about 4 months.
To meet the Kickstarter order.
Mhm.
And yet you
And-
haven't shipped any of that yet?
Not yet.
Do you have any orders outside of crowdfunding?
We launched a website. Rose is the social media queen. This
I'm
is
kind of
Rose
famous
from
on
Poplight.
TikTok, guys.
You are before.
A little bit. We went viral on TikTok. We've actually gone viral several times, but all of our sales since our Kickstarter have been just through organic content.
Tell us the sales
didn't get
after
sales as-
Kickstarter online.
It's not very exciting because we just got our website live.
But about $5,000.
I'm guessing you both have other jobs still at this point.
We both still have full-time jobs, which is great because it helps us fund the what we're doing with
There's
Poplight.
nothing wrong with it. What do you guys
Yeah.
do?
Well, tell
What-
us about
what's
you.
your
What's your
full-time?
background?
I've been working in tech for several years, working in fast-paced startups.
And that's a good point. If somebody who is a patent attorney and intellectual property attorney, and somebody who has some businesses, at the end of the day, when you're getting investments from people, not only are they investing in a business, but they are just as much or more importantly investing in a person. I want somebody who's going to be a hardworking, dependable, and somebody who's has this fire inside of them, passionate about what they have going on in their business, and not somebody who's maybe lazy or disorganized or just not a serious person, especially when you're talking about $150,000 for 8%
I
of
am
a
a
company.
data whiz. And I think the most important thing I can tell you about myself is I'm the daughter of multiple generations of entrepreneurs. My grandfather, most importantly, moved to America with not much except his skills, built an incredible life for himself. And I like really can't say, if you could see what I'm doing right now and who I'm talking to, the Manischewitz would be flowing. It's just like, it's such an honor to be here.
Yeah, it really is.
Only in
Mazel tov to your
America,
grandfather.
the American
So I'm
dream.
a licensed clinical social worker. I provide therapy to individuals and couples. And at the end of the day, Poplight or people, I just love figuring out how things work.
All right, guys, look, the whole deal is very nasty.
And I like this. Again, we get to see whether or not they get a deal or not. But this is another good thing about just patent law and just building a business in America. It's for everybody. She says she's a social worker. The other person, I forget what she says she does, but again, you don't have to be these engineers or these brainiacs or these coders to get into the game. You can be somebody who is just an everyday person, whether again you're a school teacher or a social worker or kind of work in a juvenile facility, whatever the case may be. You can be an everyday person and still participate and build a bit. And I have seen it, and I've helped businesses, people build their business, protect their IP, and sell hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars worth of product, having protection on their IP. So, man, that's such a great. It's so great in America that you have this opportunity, regardless of who you are and what you do.
It's a total crapshoot, I think, but I'll make you an offer. I'll give you the 150,000 for the 8%, but I want a royalty of $2 on it until I get back
Mr. Wonderful, always coming through. I need
then
that
the royalty
royalty.
drops to $1 in perpetuity.
We thought you'd throw in a royalty.
Of course I
Shocking,
would.
right? Just shocking.
It's actually a really
But
good
you know
deal.
what?
That's not his worst deal ever. Trust
No,
me.
I think you guys are incredible. Or Kevin is getting softer in his old years, because that is a really good offer.
No, it's definitely us.
I'd like to give you a rather simple offer.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you the $150,000. I don't even want the stock, honest to God, but I would like to get a $20 royalty.
$20?
Wow.
But no,
Whoa.
equity.
No equity at all.
$20 per unit.
Wow.
$20 per unit.
Okay.
Wow.
That's just brutal.
All sharks are still in. Caroline and Rose have 2 offers on the table.
And I have this podcast that I do, investing in intellectual property with Dave, where I interview people who have maybe been on Shark Tank, some of which who've been on Shark Tank, I should say, some of which are have been successful, have sold millions of dollars, and 5 to 7% of the gross sales typically is from a royalty standpoint or licensing standpoint is kind of a good royalty. $20 per unit sold, that's a bit much.
Table for their removable wall light, poplight. Kevin has offered $150,000 for an 8% stake plus a $2 royalty until $500,000 is paid. Then the royalty drops to $1 per unit sold. Barbara has offered $150,000 for no equity, but wants a $20 royalty.
I don't think
It's
they
a
make
high-
enough money,
No,
Barb.
I think you do make enough money. for
when will
$20,
that end?
And you keep your total stock
When does
just as
that
it
end,
is.
Barbara?
Never ending.
It's
That's
in
the best
perpetuity.
part. Never,
terrible
ever
deal.
ending.
That is a terrible
ending.
deal.
I don't know what's happened
Well,
here.
So you,
Barbara
you made
and
about
Kevin
zero.
changed spots.
So you're going to
I
be
guess
left
so.
with.
Yeah.
Nothing,
It feeds
yeah.
into
That's a,
Yeah,
you
that's a
can't
brutal,
invest.
that's
Yeah,
a
you
brutal offer.
Very brutal.
Caroline Rose, you guys, I love the product. You two are really impressive.
Thank you.
I think you'll figure it out. I think Kevin made you a pretty good offer. I would take his offer, I got to tell
Really?
you. Barbara's offer is absolutely nuts. I don't know what she's doing.
There's nothing
But-
wrong with
Thank
that.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
out.
Yeah, thank you for that.
What are you doing, Lori?
I am not sure about your marketplace. I'm familiar with quite a few things that stick on the wall that light up. So I have a little bit of concern about your competition. For those reasons, it makes me hesitate and I'm out.
And again, that's like I said, that's a good point. I think it's simple, which is good. It's an effective way to have different options. I guess my number 3 is, as Lori said, the marketplace is a big niche. And if so, what are your competitors in this marketplace? Again, I'm not an expert on mounting wall lights. It seems like that's been around. Now, whether or not, like I said, it requires all these tools or it's just a messy process. It seems like there's some stuff out there that you can just kind of stick onto the wall, and therefore, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I'm with Lori on this one. I like what they are doing. Again, it's simple, it's effective. But number 3, as it relates to the marketplace, and is it a kind of a big enough niche where you can make a lot of money? And number 2, what's the competition in it? Or part 2 of that, number 3, what's the competition? I'm not sure how these guys grade out on that. And it seems like Lori picked up on it, and she's out as a result of it.
There's absolutely stick-on lighting. One thing that keeps ours a little bit different from that is that the stick-on is hidden. So most stick-on lighting, it either is showing underneath the light, so when you remove it, you have that access to the tab, but then you see the plastic bits that are behind your light.
Or even worse, you can't access the tape and you have to rip it off your wall and take off the paint.
That's the win or lose
Yeah.
to your business,
Mhm.
right? Because if it's transient, if I can just stick it and then pull it off and move it when I need to move it, and you're the only one and that's pretty protected, you win.
Mhm.
If you're not, you battle. But I'm just not convinced, right?
Mhm.
So for those reasons, I'm out.
And again, that's going back to number 3. How big is the market? It seems like it's a market that people want wall lights in their houses, in their apartments. But then what's the competition in that market? And it seems like maybe it's some competition, such that the Sharks, at least Lori and Mark, really don't want to have to deal with it.
So can I clarify? The question
Okay,
that you
these guys
have
are
is,
out. Time to focus on the deals now.
Barbara, would you consider any less than 20?
On the royalty, what do you feel you can afford?
I think 12 would be more comfortable for us.
Damn.
Wow.
If you'll take 100 in cash and 50,000 in a credit line, I'll do that deal.
Wow. All of a sudden, a really good offer.
Okay, guys, you got to make a decision.
Okay. All right.
That's a better
Kevin,
deal.
would you consider having that royalty go until you hit 350?
No.
What would you consider?
What the offer I gave you. I think it's very fair. I like it a lot.
There's absolutely no wiggle room there.
No.
Okay. What do you think?
Kevin, we'd love to do that offer with you.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Hey, I think he had the better offer. Ultimately, I think Barbara was trying to be a little bit greedy. But again, this one went a little long, almost 30 minutes. We're at 26 and counting. I'm going to try to keep these things to 20 minutes. This was the first one, so we're still working out the kinks. But again, patents, hey, is well and alive. As you seen here, investors are going to want to hear about it. And again, if you're trying to create a business, and you have a product or a service for that matter, number one, make sure it's simple. Number two, make sure it's effective. Number three, make sure the market is wide enough. And within that market, there's not a lot of competitors. And if you can hit those three things, you stand to make a lot of money in your business. And make sure that IP is protected. It seems like they're doing it the right way with Poplight and protecting their IP. It'll be interesting to see the broadness of the claims. I may do a follow-up on that at a later date. And I wish these ladies all but the best. Until next time, take care.